Hey everyone, it's Mr. Wildboy94. I hope you're doing well today. I have a book review for a Batman manga, basically. This is called Batman Justice Buster, which is a really, really stupid title. Volume 1 by Ichi Shimizu and Tomohiro Shimoguchi. Now, when I picked this up, I wanted to read it because it had the name Batman on it. Despite it being a manga, I thought it could be really cool to see what the Japanese would do with things like this and like Spider-Man Fake Red, Deadpool Samurai. Never read those. This is the first one I picked up of a Western IP that was adapted into manga, and I was hoping it'd be good, but the cover immediately rubbed me the wrong way, because this cover kind of sucks. You got Batman and some Nacho Libre Mexican wrestler guy, some faces down here, and then the back had absolutely no plot synopsis at all to understand what you were getting into. 200-page volume, like a lot of the time, and it was Batman, so I said, okay, I'll pick it up. Cracked it open, saw some of the art. The art looked kind of cool. I'll show you some of that. Just the one couple of pages in the front are in, color, but the rest are in black and white, like usual. And as I started to read this, I thought it was an interesting take at first, and as the book went on, I feel like it was a bad take. I did not like this book the majority of the time. It has some interesting things. I think there's 2 more volumes that are out. I don't know if it's still ongoing here nowadays. But I do want to kind of read the other books. I might try to see if a library has them at some point, but for now, I was not impressed, to be honest with you. I thought this was one of the worst Batman stories I'd ever read. Despite the art being beautiful the majority of the time, there's maybe 2 panels in the entire book that I really could not make out what was happening there. But aside from that, it has some interesting takes. It's not just Batman. You might see a member of the Justice League here or there. You see a lot of Batman's rogues gallery shown in here, like Killer Croc and Penguin. They look great. The book almost has an anthology feel, but it doesn't. It's kind of random in the events that are going on. Essentially, to get into the plot, Bruce Wayne has been Batman for about 3.5 years or so at this current point. His Batman costume is very weird. It's kind of just the Batman Beyond costume, but more like Arkham Knight from the video game. Very techno, like a robot, like Daft Punk robot. He doesn't really have the cape, though, until somebody tells him, hey, you should have that cape out more often. He decides to start doing that. He usually uses it just as a way to jump off of high buildings and fly a little bit and whatever. Not in a Batman Beyond flying way, but still. So it's kind of immediately rubbed me the wrong way when I first started it, but I said, it's the Japanese, it's a manga, let's give it a shot, see what it does. And it perfected that. By the end of the book, he has his cape out most of the time. However, Bruce Wayne here, I think he's great. I think the writing of him is great as a character. I love how it's just him and Alfred. It's not a whole team of bat people, which is always irritating the shit out of me with newer comics. I mean, you always had Batman and Robin a lot back in the day, but that's not as obnoxious as, all of these other people that are probably even now calling themselves things like the Bat, Batwoman, Batgirl, so on and so on. That shit is obnoxious. I can't stand it. However, this makes it simple. It's Batman and Alfred, and that's basically it. Now, Batman recently created a new AI system to help him out, to help him make judgment calls. It might even make better judgment calls than he himself would be, which I think was a little bit of a weird thing, because Batman is supposed to be so incredibly smart that he knows the best choice most of the time, percentage-wise, what's safer, so on and so on. I don't think Batman needs an AI to help with that, but whatever, I let it go. Guess what the AI name is? Robin. Yes. But it's not going to just replace a small boy in tights. It's not going to replace that in this story or this world, because there's another subplot involving a kid named Danny who lost his parents recently. He lives with his uncle, I think it's Albert or Al or something like that. We don't really know much about them until the first volume here ends, but we don't know a whole lot about the uncle either. We suspect some things about this guy. But Danny, I'm assuming, is going to take place as some kind of child representation in this. I don't know why. By the end of the book, you find out a little bit more, but I wasn't impressed, to be honest with you. The biggest carry through this whole book was the Rogues Gallery of Batman, the Bruce Wayne writing, which I really liked, the cameos from other characters that you know and I know, and essentially, aside from that, it was the art. The art was the best thing about the book, in my opinion. It was beautiful in almost every frame, like I said. Certain ways that it's drawn versus how Americans would draw it really impressed me. I really loved that about this book. The title was bad. Like I said, Justice Buster, you really don't find out what that is until the end of the book. And that shit is stupid. It makes me hate the title of this book. Hopefully it's better in Volume 2 and 3 and more well utilized to make this a better book, to make it a better title, frankly. Now, let's talk about this guy right here. I was hoping like I said in my book haul video, that would be a new Batman villain, that maybe the manga would have some kind of new creation. No. No, you are not going to guess a million years who that's supposed to be. It ain't Rorschach. It ain't a ripoff of Rorschach or a throwback or reference to it. No, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Joker in this story. And when I found that out, when I was reading this, and it's kind of teased that Joker wants to partner up with Batman to stop all these criminals. Yes, that's an interesting route, kind of like in the Telltale video game, but don't have it be a guy with the mask on that has like a faint carving that looks like, you know, a smile on a Nacho Libre Mexican wrestler mask. That is a horrible idea. I'm already predicting that I know who the Joker is in this story. The book itself is very predictable. Every kind of little twist that it tries to pull, you can see it coming from a million miles away. All of the things that I liked about this don't overshadow those really crappy things about this book that I just fucking hated in every way possible. Volume 2 and 3 have a lot of work to save this. If I get a chance to read them sometime soon, I might even go call the library in a moment just to find out if they have them or not. I think 3 might not even be released yet. But I do not, immediately from the get-go, like the depiction of Joker in here. I think that Rorschach knockoff crap, it's an idea. It's kind of like when Dark Knight made Joker so serious. You know, it's an idea. I like it. But unlike Dark Knight, it doesn't work here. It doesn't work here. He doesn't like cackle and make jokes and stuff. Nothing like that. I'm not a fan of it, to be honest with you. But anyway, it's a little bit sporadic and random as a book. I don't really recommend it unless Volume 2 ends up being better, and I'll say that if it is in my review for Volume 2 if I get a chance to read it sometime. But this is not good at all. I do not recommend it, basically. Aside from the art and the pictures, you could make posters out of this book. Aside from that, it ain't good. Batman Justice Buster Volume 1. Have you read it? What did you think about it? If you're a manga fan who loves comics as well, I'd love to hear all of that down below and what you thought about this adaptation of Batman. I really think that Volume 2, if it does the right stuff, it could really make this worth your time. That's why I don't want to throw it in my Goodwill box to get rid of yet, because it might end up being really good once I get to the other volumes. But we shall see, because I am not having faith in this thing right now. If I had to rate Batman Justice Buster Volume 1 on a 5-star basis, I would give it like a 2 out of 5 stars. And that's a low score for a lower, possibly almost at a 1 out of 5 stars for me, because this one was rough, man. It just had nothing really special happening. You can only do so much in 200 pages, but I've seen it done time and time and again, where I've seen people in 100-page graphic novels in America do justice to whatever character. I've seen this over and over again. A 200-page manga does not have any excuse, in my opinion. It's one of those ones that I have not heard a thing about. I don't know the general reception to this book, but I would be willing to bet that it's probably not very positive, aside from Batman shills. Anyway, Batman Justice Buster Volume 1, have you read it or the series? What do you think about it? Again, let me know all of that down below. Thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Let me know if it gets better, too, in the series. I'd love to hear all that. I hope it's eventually going to give me some faith to sit through this. Thank you, guys. God bless you, and goodbye.